Don't mind me, just clicking on trees. Me and my friend, because I have one of my friends that plays this game religiously, kind of like I do, a little bit similarly. I think I probably played a little bit more than him. Like, I'm a little bit more serious about it, I guess, although I'm very, very slightly more serious. Although he has a ton of courageous strike mons, which is really good for Titan. And so he has, like, crazy Titan damage in comparison to me. But at the same time, he only has, like, one massive team, while his other teams are not so great. And I have some semi-decent teams thrown after there. But anyways, I'm doing the stuff that you can do every hour or whatever and just, like, collecting a bunch of free resources. The game throws resources at you like crazy. Although when you get into like auto running and stuff like that, I know, because like you can do like these dailies and things like that too. I need to do those later today. But like, you know, once you actually get into auto running, I know right now we've just been doing the whole Tower of Chaos thing, and now I'm going to check if there's any Syria dungeons. There is one. We are going to murder Syria. Or Sierra? Sierra. I think it's Sierra. Sierra. Probably. I don't know. It's Seira, I think. Probably. Anyways, we're going to murder. So they have this event right now that has the mini Sierra, and they're like super hard to find, and I think they actually screwed up on their drop rates because yesterday, or not well, yeah, it would be yesterday today. Well, technically, as I'm recording this, would be like a week ago. But anyways, they had this thing to where basically nobody was seeing any of them. There's a few people that were seeing like one or two, and that nobody was running into them. But then today, I have found so freaking many today. I found like 6, and I'm like, what? So in one day, in comparison to the whole week that was like doing it beforehand or whatever, it was like 3 days or something, not a week. So for 3 days I was farming nonstop and hadn't found a single one. And then today, when I'm barely farming at all, I've been doing, you know, this, I've found 6 of them so far, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm in love with that. And so I think they super screwed up, and they like messed with the drop tables and stuff like that. So I'm maybe like rushing to kind of get them a little bit more than I should, but at the same time, they're an event mon, and I really, really want them, and there's no other dungeon. So we're gonna go back to the Tower of Chaos. Welcome back to the Tower of Chaos, by the way. I keep forgetting to introduce myself, by the way. My name's Michael. I'm sure by the time you're in this episode, you probably know that, unless you're here specifically for the Tower of Chaos numbers. So let's go ahead and go to Tower of Chaos number 4. Now these are light and dark mons, so I think I'm actually gonna switch. I'm gonna actually switch him out. I'm not going to be leveling him like I was in the other episodes. So I'm actually going to start trying now. And so let's go ahead and bring in my Dark Horon. Bring in her. And just for funsies, as I'm talking about being serious, I'm going to bring in Light Jack. Because why not? They're not going to murder me too hard. They're actually pretty easy. But yeah, I like Jack. She was the first event mon that I actually got to participate in. And so that was really cool because I started this game back when it released, but I didn't really play it because... Oh, wow, I attacked the wrong mon. Whoops, whatever. Let's see if she actually kills one. Oh, no. See, these guys have a ton of health, and they don't take that much damage because they have a lot of defense as well. But yeah, I started this game when it first came out. Like, back when it first launched on the actual Google Play Store, I had it downloaded. However, I looked at it as, it's just another mobile game, whatever, and I kind of started playing it a little bit here and there, but I was way too busy to actually do stuff. Like, back then, I was only able to like release one video a month or whatever because I was working like 46 hours or something like that on my day job, and it was freaking ridiculous. Hated that place. I don't work there anymore. But like, yeah, I didn't have very much time, but there was this mobile game that I just kind of played once or twice, you know, every once in a while, and it was just kind of like one of those things I did in between being miserable. And so I didn't really catch on because it was like, oh, it's a mobile game, it's gonna have all these microtransactions that are super pay to win. And then later I found out like you don't actually have that much difficulty getting resources in this game as like a free-to-play player, and so you can actually go through free-to-play and just completely dominate competition as long as you actually like put time into it. And so basically, you know, you pay to like skip content. Essentially, you pay to get extra mons and things like that and stuff like that. And now they've introduced a pay-to-win element with the clan versus clan, which is like pure endgame PvP content, but I don't necessarily care. And so yeah, it's okay. I hope that they don't ruin the rest of the game because of that, though. That is one thing I'm really afraid of. Whenever they introduce any pay-to-win elements in any game, it's always really scary because it's like, hey, I could really, really enjoy this game if it didn't have all these elements that, like, pay gates you. Like, the Golden Gate design is, like, what I like to call it. Like, they have, like, that whole Golden Gate. You gotta pay to go past the Golden Gate. I hate that idea, and I think it's just terrible design. Like, it's not even, like, terrible design. It's lazy. All right, so Fire Valkyrie. So this is the next boss. By the way, I don't remember what she has as ads. I just blow her up because I have some strong water mons. I'll bring Belrock this time. So what she does is, based on the amount of damage she deals, she gets SP proportionate to that. And so basically, you do not want to bring grass mons against her because she's going to deal more damage, which is going to give her more SP. She also, when she gets her active, she can stun you, which is only an 80% chance, which is actually fairly low. considering it's only one turn. But at the same time, that's 80% chance that your Mon will not be able to do anything. And so basically, do not bring Grass Mons against her unless you're overpowered with it or whatever. But other than that, she should be pretty easy to tank down. I don't remember what her adds are, and so basically we're going to see what those are. I'm going to bring Belrock and Water Shinobi. I could bring Artemis, but I'm not going to. So those are high-end Mons. Now, one thing I noticed that I haven't been doing is talking about lower star Mons you could end up bringing. So let's go ahead and go over some of those. So Water Shelly has defense down, so he would actually be fairly decent for this content. And you can bring somebody like I was talking about healers earlier. So basically, he's going to bring it up. There we go. So Nereid or Siren, the lower Evos or whatever, she's really easy to farm on one of the early stages. And so you can actually get her pretty Evo'd up. And so you can get her to Evo 3 very, very easily. And she actually has some fairly decent abilities. And so basically, when she attacks, she gets HP based on the, or based off a percentage. And so basically, every time she hits, she gets health back. And then basically restores a set amount of HP for each turn that she goes about, which is based off of recovery stat, I think, which isn't really worth building. So don't really worry about that. But she is really, really good as a semi-tank healer. And so basically, if you need a healer that just stays alive, she is really good for anything that's not against strong grass Mons. So if you want early game Mons to use against that, there you go. And we're also going to be needing Cotton as well. I don't actually know what the Evo 1 is called. Cotton has a barrier break, which is going to be really useful, or shield break. Sorry, they changed the name of it. Shield breaker. And we're actually going to need that ability later on in the Tower of Chaos. And I technically don't need to use it because I can just blow up the boss. But at the same time, we'll use it just for showing off the ability. If she even gets to use it, probably won't. We'll see how that goes, but we'll talk about it later. So what are her adds? Like, what are we actually fighting here? I feel like it's going to be Purse. Yeah, so it's Light Purse, which I can't remember her abilities. And then Dark Succubus, which I also don't remember her abilities. Whatever, let's murder her. She is going to die. She's going to be dead. So I'm going to take out the dark ones because I feel like they have a stronger ability, or not really a stronger ability, but I feel like they have stun or something like that. I'm trying to remember. It's been a while. Oh, nothing even happened when that happened. Okay, cool. So these guys are building up their SP bar very quickly, though. And so basically, we want to make sure to take them out as fast as possible. So they're going to be able to use their ability. I think they have Petrify. It's either Petrify or Shock, or it just doesn't apply. All right, cool. I'm going RNG right now. RNG is on my side. It's like, hey, bro, I got you. Nothing happening today. I know you're actually trying to like find out what it is just so you can figure out like what to tell people about it. But ultimately, apparently it doesn't matter because I'm just going to obliterate them. So there we go. So every time you get up your actives as well, you can use it to kind of clear waves very, very quickly. So the first wave, if you're ever struggling on a stage, remember that the first wave is probably going to be one of the most difficult waves as long as you're not using your actives early on. And so basically, once you hit that second wave, you can be like, all right, well, now I've got actives. Let's say you got an active with a AoE stun or something like that, and you can just be like, boom, blow them up. That's all you need to do. And then that's pretty much it. So you can basically blow through most of the content after you finished off that first wave. However, on that first wave, you want to make sure you're focusing properly if you have to manually run that content, and you want to build up your SP. So the way SP works, the blue spheres and things like that, because this is a point where it would start becoming a little bit relevant. Okay, she has sleep. Gotcha. That's not too terrifying. She's dead now. And the way SP works is basically when you attack enemies, you see these blue spheres, and each different Mon actually has different sphere generation counts and things like that, which goes way into more advanced stuff than I need to. Also, I have no idea what that ability does. I have no idea. Maybe it's a heal, and I'm just not looking at the health bar. I don't know. Anyways, we're on the boss. But yeah, so basically those blue orbs are what's going to recover the SP, and also there's abilities that can recover the SP as well. So now when I'm fighting this boss, go into this real quick. When you're fighting actual enemies, by the way, the more you attack them, the more their SP bar fills, unless you're in PvP, which also goes off the blue sphere system. Anyways, so you want to like minimize your attacks. Belrock has two abilities. Her first ability on her 3-star skill is to Courageous Strike, which is going to deal damage based on the amount of HP the enemy has. Her active, however, is an AoE, and it has defense down. And so we're going to try to defense down this boss, and basically that's going to make her super, super weak. And then since Water Shinobi is water, and his active ability actually steals SP, you can watch, actually, I'm going to attack with somebody else because it's going to steal more SP. And so basically, as I'm attacking, you'll notice it actually builds up these SP. And so basically that did a ton of damage because of that, and it took out the ads because it's AoE. Normally what you'd probably want to do here is focus the dark? No, focus the light purse, because I'm pretty sure she has shock. I'm just getting very lucky. But otherwise, if she doesn't, you want to focus the dark succubus. But now, see the SP bar? Since Water Shinobi can steal that, means that, well, she's dead now. Wow. Anyways, it would steal the SP bar away, and then basically she wouldn't be able to attack, which is kind of nice. Normally you wouldn't have an ability like that, but that's basically what you want to do on that. I think defense down was pretty strong on that. So if you can have an AoE defense down, or maybe somebody like Wood Horan. Actually, no, you don't want to bring Wood because basically you'll get blown up. So Water Shelly. Water Shelly was actually a good example for that one. And then bring Light Victoria. If she has high enough defense to sustain those attacks from the dark succubus, then you're pretty good to go on that one, I would say. Also, I would say as well, like if you are going in there with just Light Victoria, if it is in the opposite element, the AI is going to focus that. And so basically, I mean, it's a really high chance. They don't always do it, but the chances are they're going to. And so basically, if you are actually going into there and you only have Light Victoria as a light mon herself, and you don't have any other light mons, those dark succubuses are going to focus her. And so what you can do is focus them back, and so make sure that like they're taken out of the fight, and then you can actually clear out the rest of the mons pretty dang easily after that. And so it's like kind of one of those things where you want to strategize who you attack first. For me right now, since these mons are like ultra powered, it's not that big of a deal. So I'm just kind of, I could still end up leveling up a mon in these stages, I think, because these are super easy still, which is kind of unfortunate. I was hoping to run into challenge a little bit quicker, but at the same time, I kind of understand why I'm not. So that's just the thing. Whatever. I attacked in the wrong order as well. Whoops. I think I'm still going to one-shot him. Nope. Got really close. I think he's a tank, and so he has a little bit more health than the rest of his party, but that's all right. We're going to blow him up anyways. Goodbye. Dealing 10Ks. God, it's seeing high numbers in games like this is really satisfying, because even the small amount of numbers, like the small little build up, is actually really, really nice. And so like you build, 10 extra damage, you're going to start dealing 50 extra damage, that sort of thing. So stats are pretty big in this game. So if you want to actually get up those nice little boosts, even like a 1% boost can actually be the difference between winning and failing. I'm going to switch her out for Artemis just for the hell of it. So there we go. Also, I've noticed the audio stutters every once in a while. That's a problem with the emulation. That's not actually what the game does. Although the audio delay, I'm sure somebody has noticed by now, is actually in the normal game as well. And so that just happens. I don't know why I did that, but oh well. We'll do that. And then, see, I didn't one-shot all these guys. So I'm getting to a point to where I'm not one-shotting the entire wave, which is kind of nice because I like actually playing the game. Normally, I probably could have just left auto battle on for a very long time on this without ever having to worry about it, which is something you can do for most of the content in this game. So just auto it. And the way that you actually farm resources is you have a mod. That's not who I tapped on. Okay, whatever. I tapped on, I typed on Fire Wild Fang, and for some reason it made Light Victoria attack. I guess I hit it at just the very edge, and maybe the hitbox is a little bit off. I don't know. That was a little bit strange. Don't normally happen, or don't normally have that happen. Although on dragons, there's a freaking glitch that's very, very annoying. And so basically, if you're attacking with your two center mons, if you click on them too high up and you don't click at the very, very bottom of it, or you don't tap at the very, very bottom of it, it will actually make it so that you target or detarget the dragon, which is super freaking annoying, and I hate it. And I don't know why. It does it both on my phone and on emulators. And so I think it's a problem with the game. And so it's really annoying. So I'll just tap kind of casually, be like, yay, tap, and then just accidentally attack the wrong mon because it'll auto attack. So if you don't target a mon, you'll notice the little circle below enemies and stuff like that. When you tap on a mon, it'll target them, and then that's who you tap will then attack. But if you don't have anybody targeted, when you tap on them, they just auto battle basically. And so they kind of determine like, oh, hey, I should attack this mon automatically. Auto battle is intentionally not perfect. And so that's not necessarily the best way to go about things, although you can kind of strategize your parties and figure out how you want to do it. And so, yeah, these guys are super easy. I think Anu has stun. I don't know if Fire Anu has stun, but one of the Anus has stun. It might be the grass one. So I don't think we're going to have to worry about on this one. This is going to be super easy though, although they are a bit tankier than most of them. I know Fire Horon or Fire Mio, because this is the Evo 1 variant. I don't know why I'm screwing that up so bad. But yeah, so Fire Mio is actually having a lot of health, I believe. I think she's the tankiest of the Mios next to Light. I think Light is a tank. Light is either a tank or a defender. And then there's also Dark Mio, which is actually one that has an increased damage based off of the amount of HP you have. And so basically, if you build her straight HP, she starts dealing a lot of damage. And what people have been doing is building her with crit damage. And so when she crits, like as you're attacking, you'll notice sometimes the numbers will be red, and that's a crit. And basically it has increase, and you can actually have crit modifiers on your mons and things like that to make it deal more damage. And so basically they build her HP and crit, which is hilarious. And so she just crits a lot and has a ton of health, and so she's hard to kill, but also deals a ton of freaking damage, which is hilarious. And Dark Mons in this game have a natural ability to have increased crit rate, or not increased crit rate, but increased crit damage. And then I believe Light Mons are increased crit rate, either that or their resistance. I think resist is actually on healers. I'm not 100% sure on that. It's not a stat I normally pay attention to, but Dark Mons do have increased crit damage, and so Dark Mons are very popular to build with crit damage. And so everyone's like, oh, hey, you got a Dark Mon? Build it with crit. Build it with crit, crit all the way. The problem with crit, however, is it's very, very endgame heavy, because if you don't have good gems for crit, crit is literally 100% RNG and not very good when you're not actually landing them consistently. And so if you can't get 80% crit at least, building for crit is completely pointless. At least from what I've seen, because normally what you could do is you could build something like HP attack or defense attack, and so basically they have some survivability while also having a high base attack damage, which means those crits will still deal quite a bit of damage, but they'll also be really useful for just normal attacks as well. So you won't feel like you're not dealing maximum damage all the time. It's actually quite nice. And that's how I've pretty much built most of my attackers, and then most of the time for tanks and stuff like that, I build HP and defense like straight up, and then use attack power and crit rate for their sub stats, which is pretty nice. And it's one of those things to where I don't have the best of mons, but I do have some pretty good gem sets, I will say, which is kind of nice, because that's literally all I do on this game normally. I just literally have it running, and all it does is farm gems for me, basically. So it's kind of like a farming simulator in a way, but most of these mobile games are. It does have an auto-run function and stuff like that, and so it kind of goes through it, so it'll run like 20 dungeons at a time, just automatically for you. And then you come back, sell your gems, and organize which ones you want. Now, Fire Artemis here actually has a taunt ability, which will make it so that those mons will automatically attack her on their next turn, and it will deal decreased damage as well. So it's kind of like an attack down while also having a taunt. And so basically, he'll automatically attack her no matter what and deal reduced damage. And that was actually quite a bit of a reduced damage. It's actually quite more effective than I remember. It didn't used to reduce damage it dealt. It used to just pull aggro, which meant that nobody used it. But since they added it in so it actually deals less damage, they've actually started using it. I don't remember what her first ability is. I haven't really been paying attention. I don't use her very often. I just built her. Just got her to level 60 like yesterday. And so I haven't really played around with her and seen what she's good for yet, but I think I'm going to use her on my defense teams for PvP, because in defense you set up, or in PvP you set up a defense party, and then people can attack you and stuff like that, and then you go out and attack other people. I think she's going to be useful for that. I'm actually going to check what her active is on her 3-star, or her special, whatever. I can't speak. I'm running out of words. So yeah, let's go ahead and look at her ability. Also, I hate this stage. I remember getting stuck. Oh, it's a stun. Super useful. Yeah, she'll go on my defense teams. It's only 70% chance to taunt. It's not as good. I really wanted, so if I go on to her abilities, I can actually look at the other variants as well. I believe it was wood that I wanted, or, oh my god, if I had light, elemental edge is really freaking good. And her darks, meh. Yeah, that's kind of meh. I don't really like silence, but yeah, elemental edge, oh my god, I want a light one so bad. But wood is the one that I wanted because, like I said in the previous episode, I have a fetish for HP Siphon. Basically, they get HP based on the amount of damage they deal, and I like that ability. So this guy is a freaking jerk, and he has grass mons next to him, which means I'm bringing in, because I remember this is the first stage that I played through when they first released this that I had trouble with. And so basically this guy restores his own SP, and he has a taunt, and he has ads that basically give him shield. So he has Cotteens that give him a shield, and he gets really difficult to kill if you can't power through him. So I want her. Let's go ahead and actually, I'm going to make her leader because I'm not going to use her for the entire content. Then we're going to bring Wood Odin. So our replacement for Wood Odin would be somebody like the bird here, Flashwing or Bolt, I think is what he's called originally. Yeah, Boltwing. And so he's a good one. You automatically get one of him for free in the game when you're actually playing through the story missions. He'll show up. Other types of mons that are really good at low levels, you probably want to bring a Siren, although there are wood mons to deal with, and so she'll have to be pretty tanky for it, but at the same time, she will survive. And so she's a good one to bring along. I'm going to bring Marie for straight up damage, and then I'm going to bring him for the SP siphon that he has. What's another farmable mon? Water Mona as well, I think, would be decent on this one. And then you can also use Grass Horan, or Grass Mio, depending on what Evo you are, for the defense down, which is really nice for when they do the defense up. So basically, it'll defense down, and she can also stun to get rid of those earlier waves. But I'm not going to bring her because I don't need to. I think I should be able to beat it with this. Should be pretty easy. Easy peasy, meanie, easy. So this is where we're actually going to have to start talking about strategy and kind of figuring out what we're going to do. And so basically, we should be able to clear this. If not, that's going to kind of suck. But these guys are all fire. I was wrong. I thought it was grass. It's fire. I'm an idiot. Whatever. That's cool. My Odin here is pretty dang tanky, and so she'll take quite a bit of damage. Actually, she's not very tanky. I took off one of her defensive gems, and so she'll take a fair bit of damage, but at the same time, when she attacks things, she recovers health, and these guys are not going to deal enough to actually be any sort of trouble whatsoever. So basically, isn't a problem whatsoever. I forgot about that, though. I thought it was all grass mons until you got to the boss, but apparently it's going to be grass mons next to the boss. It's wood cottons or whatever, or cottontails, I think is their Evo 3 name or whatever the hell it is. I don't remember. I always forget names. I'm not good with names. If I can't remember people's names, what makes you expect me to remember video game names? Anyways, blow these guys up. These guys are actually fairly easy as well if you're not bringing in just grass mons. Like, this is what I was talking about in an earlier episode, to where when the boss showed up and it was like, oh, hey, it's going to be a water boss. I was like, all right, it's not going to always be a water boss when it says that. And this is one of those cases to where, you know, it throws in like, oh, hey, you got water and you brought nothing but grass. We're going to screw you over by throwing in nothing but fire until you get to the boss. And that can screw you over very heavily in this game. And I think they kind of take joy in doing that to you, because that's just the way they are. They're sadistic. But I don't know, this content, pretty easy for me so far, but this is where we're going to start having to actually figure out exactly what sort of store... Sorry, my throat clogged up there. Wow, that was a terrible way to say that. That sounded gross. Anyways, this is a point to where I'm actually going to have to start using strategy on some of my mons and stuff like that. I'm going to actually get a drink of water, which I normally don't do in videos, but my throat is being a pain right now. Alright, so here's the boss. Let's see if it's actually going to be them. Oh, it's wood. Wow, I was completely off. Completely off. It's Woodhorn. I talked about her earlier, and so basically she has defense up, and her main attack is going to be attack down. So basically, they're going to be debuffing us while buffing him. So what I'm going to do is Wood Odin, I said her secondaries, her active skill actually has defense down. So let's go ahead and use her first, because she will hopefully... Oh, wow. All of them resisted. All right, so we have options here. We can try to blow them all up, which is what I'm going to do with those two actives. And so there's the Wood Horns. Now, what you want to do on this one, if you can't blow them up like that, you want to focus the Wood Horns first and get them out of the way. Because if you get rid of one of them, that means you're only going to have one healer. Because once this boss goes down in health, I'm going to go ahead and steal his SP away. But once he goes down in health, he will start to get healed by them. So what you want to do is you want to deal the least amount of damage to him, and you want to try bursting down one of the horns as fast as possible and before they get their heal proc. Because as soon as they heal, he's going to become super difficult to kill because he's going to have constant defense up. Also, they have different buffs and stuff like that. And so this guy is immune to taunt, seal, thirst, and action inhibiting abilities such as stun and shock. And so basically, you're not going to want to bring those to fight the boss specifically, maybe before that. That's why... you know, Woodhorn is pretty good on a lot of this content. So if she can survive to the boss on this stage for you, she would actually be pretty good on this content because you can use that defense down to try and defense down the, you know, Wood Hannahs, especially after they defense up, and kind of negate that buff, and then you can take them out. And so basically, if you're struggling with this bit, that's a good way to kind of go about it. Obviously, what mons you want to use is going to be 100% up to you. Kind of figure out what synergies you have available. As you can see, this guy has a lot of health. And so if I had somebody like Wood Penelo or Bellrock or Water Sparket, then basically what they have is an ability called Courageous Strike. And Courageous Strike deals the amount of damage based off of how much health they have. And so this guy has a lot of health and a lot of defense. and basically that would shred through it. And so basically that might be something to do. As long as you have them gemmed properly, they would start dealing some decent damage to this guy as well, which is quite nice. And now he's going to attack me, taunt, and the taunt, I don't have to do anything. It's just going to straight up kill him. Boom. And he's down. I remember having so many problems with this. This was the very first one that I ever had any problems with. And so basically all the earlier stages that we were on, I completely obliterated them, and then I got to this one and it kicked my butt because I did not have a team for it, because at the time I had nothing but fire teams. And so yeah, and I got 100 Astro Gems for that, so that was worth it. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for the rest of this series. Next time, we are going to be climbing even farther. And this is when I'm actually going to have to start going through and like figuring out different teams and things like that and messing around with the mons I'm using. Because so far, I've just been kind of using whoever. But now, they're actually getting a little bit tanky and we might actually have some problems. I mean, I doubt it. I think that was like a major stage because it was like, you get Astro Gems for this one. It's got fire and the eyes are glowy. But I don't think they're going to be too much difficult until we get up to 45 and 50, I think. And then after that, I have no clue what's after that. So basically, this is going to be fun. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, see you guys in the next episode.